In 2025, I decided to embark on a no pan left behind challenge where I wanted to touch every single eyeshadow that I own in my small and modest eyeshadow palette collection. I love project panning because it's such a great way to appreciate the makeup collection that you already have. I find that it's very inspiring to be able to reach into your things and appreciate them and use them and love them and explore using those things in new ways. And No Pan Left Behind has certainly been such a really inspirational project for me. Through this project, I have done collaborations with other creators using my eyeshadow palettes. I have also embarked on several 1 week, 1 palette challenges, and those have proved very fruitful today. I am a little late on filming this video because I wanted to update you monthly, and last month just got away from me. So this is really the culmination of 2 months worth of work and eyeshadow usage. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to update you on all of my eyeshadow palettes and how much I've used each shade. And I'll even pop up some pictures from my Instagram account where I have shared some looks using some of these palettes. The first one that I want to share with you today and update you on my usage is my ColourPop The Mandalorian The Child palette, which is what I am wearing today. I am doing my 1 week, 1 palette this week using this palette. It's such a great green palette, but also I find that you can really get muted green looks. It's not super bold in its greenness. So I find that very approachable and comfortable to wear. So I'm going to pop up my graphic here so that you can see how much I've used each shade. For Precious Cargo, I have used that 6 times. Right Hand Bando, I've used that 2 times. Just Like Tattoon, maybe 4 times. Sipping Soup, 1 time. Babyface, 1 time. The Force, 2 times. Little Frog, I have now used that today, so that is a usage. And Float Your Crib was 5 times. And Droid Protocol was 3 times. I have now completed this palette no pan left behind style. I like to keep tabs of that in my little book, so here in a little bit I'll make sure that I mark that I have completed it. But the challenge is not over with. The year is still plenty of eyeshadow usage left, so I will continue to update this project even after I've used every single palette and every single shade. I will continue to do that because I'm finding tracking my uses is really an interesting way to stay motivated. Next, I wanted to update you on my Tarte Maneater After Dark palette. While this is a larger palette, I have been able to get quite a lot of really great use on this one so far this year. I will be doing a No Pan Left Behind challenge with this one later this month. Because March is such a long month, I thought it would be fun to do 2 palettes in this month. So I will be working on the remainder of these shades later in the month. So let's go ahead and go over the uses for this one. Playful is 1, Lust 1, Mischievous 2, Sensual 1, Passion 2, Insatiable 0. This row also has several that I have not used yet. This one is Enamored, and I have 0 uses. 0 uses on Heartbreaker, 0 on Desire, 0 on Heated, 0 on Sundown, 2 on Alluring. Charming also has a few at 0. So Charming is 0, Fantasy 0, Wild at Heart 0, and Hot in Here 1, Nightfall 0, and Animal Instinct 2. Feline Myself 1, Intense 2, Temptress 1, On the Prowl 0, Moody 3, and Nocturnal 0. So all in all, I know that when I use this palette later on in the month, I will be able to complete that No Pan Left Behind challenge on this one. But also, I do want to do my 1 week 1 palette with this palette bingo style, because there's such a really cool color story with this. I'm trying to break the mold in my head that this is a fall palette by seeing it for what I can do in the spring. So that's part of the reason why I'm challenging myself to use it as my 1 week 1 palette in March, because I do see that spring-like qualities are definitely had in this palette. So Norvina from ABH is going to be next, and Norvina was my Pan That palette last year. So it has a lot of uses in it, a lot of pans in it, and I have some goals for her this year. One goal was to use base all the way up, and I have I have depotted it into my Maybelline Fit Me powder, so it kind of has a new life. It's hidden within something else. I do want to hit pan on these 2 shades, and I would love to use up Summer. I love Summer so much. I just want to slather that all over my face. It's so pretty. And I also want to hit pan on Celestial. But let's talk about uses so that we can see how far along I've gotten on this palette since the beginning of the year. So starting off in the top row, the shimmer row, Dreamer, I have 4 uses. Summer 4, Wild Child 2, Rose Gold, I haven't used that this year. Celestial 1, Dazzling 1, and Drama 1. Base, I had used that 8 times before I moved that over to the pressed powder. Soul, I have used that 1 time. Incense 3 times. Love 2 times. Volatile 4 times. Eccentric 4 times. And Passion 4 times. I have almost completed this one. Oh, I have completed... I wrote down that I completed this No Pan Left Behind, but I also don't have a use showing for Rose Gold. So I'm not sure. I'll make sure that I use Rose Gold between now and the next time I update this project, because surely I've used Rose Gold. That's such a pretty shade. Now we're going to move on to my Sweet Peach palette from Too Faced. This is one of my favorites, and I have completed it, No Pan Left Behind, as of January. But of course, lots of these shades have gotten more than 1 use. Let's go ahead and get started updating the uses for this one. So White Peach has 2 uses, Luscious 3, Just Peachy 1, Bless Her Heart 1, Tempting 3, Charmed I'm Sure 2. Next row, Nectar 1, Cobbler 1, which I'm really surprised because Cobbler is my favorite 1 shadow look shade from this palette. Candied Peach 2, Bellini 3, Peach Pit 1, and Delectable 3. Peaches and Cream, I'm using more as a setting shade than the one on top. So I have 4 uses on this one. Georgia 2 uses, Caramelized 1, Puree 1, and Summer and Top Derby to me both have 3 uses. Such a really fun palette, and even though it smells like spring, I feel like I can still use this palette again any time of year. It has fall vibes, it has spring summer vibes, and you know, I can get a nice kind of neutral cool toned look with it too for the winter time. I need to just continue to embrace that palettes can be used any time of year and really breaking that mold in my mind. This palette from Huda Beauty is next, and it's my Naughty Nude palette. This palette was featured in my collab with Sarah at Already Shopped It, and we had a lot of fun with this one, and such a fun look that I gave her and that she gave me. Really, it was a fun collab. Now, so I have not completed this one, No Pan Left Behind yet, but I have used at least half of it. So I know that I'll be able to like hunker down and be able to get that completed in the next few months, I'm sure. Filthy has 3 uses. Passion has 0, but I gave her Passion, so I swatched it at least. But as far, I'm not going to count it. I'm just going to leave it at 0. Passion, 0. Shameless, 1. Please Me, 0. Hypnotic, 2. Hard, 0. Untamed, yep. Untamed, 2. Irresistible, 2. Flower Power, 0. That's such a pretty shade. I'm excited to use that. Rough, 0. Spicy, 1. Arouse, 0. And then Slippery, 1. Tantric, 0. Naughty and Provocative both have 1 use. Desire has 0. And Juicy has 1. I don't know why I think that I don't use this palette a lot, and I think it's because I'm trying not to use it a lot because these shades are my jam. And so I think I want to like save it. I don't know. I have this weird situation about it. I don't know. But I do love this palette. Love the color story. Huda is one of my favorite formulas. Top 3, you know, in my top 3 formulas. So I just need to kind of like get over myself and get it done. Now, Rose Quartz. Next from Huda. I have completed this No Pan Left Behind, and I did that in February. This palette was also featured with DW, and man, oh man, thanks to my daughter, this palette looks vastly different than it did at the beginning of the year. This is probably my most changed palette because of her, which I'm not complaining about. She has enjoyed using it in her creative ways, and so I'm thankful that she's helping me get shades. She's helping me get use on shades that I don't normally gravitate to in this palette. So not only have me and her both completed this No Pan Left Behind, but she's also managed to help me acquire 3 more pans in this palette. Pans in this palette that we have done together are mostly her. Cosmic Love. In February, she got that one. Blissful, which I was really hoping to get a pan on that one this year, and we did that. She did that one in February. And Moon Magic is almost gone, and that pan was also in February. I'm starting to explore with this one and another one that you'll see next in trying to use them as eyeshadow, as nail polish. I was experimenting with that yesterday, and this one didn't stay on my finger a whole lot, the Moon Magic from here, but this blue color from the next palette did. So I will definitely keep exploring with that. That's new to me, but because this one and the other one especially is so loose in here, I want to use them up. I want to get them out of the pan. And I've already tried to repress this, and it didn't like do a very good job, which could have been my fault, but whatever. All right, let's update on uses because we have a lot in this one, obviously. Quartz is 1. Aura, 3. Gratitude, 2. And Cosmic Love, actually 2, but probably more because, like I said, my daughter likes to do that one a lot. We've used Empowered, 1. Joy, 2 times. Precious and Energized, both 2 times. Lovestone is 1 time, and Lovestone is the sticky shade, but I think what she did was she mixed these 2 together, so now it's not that clear thing anymore. Cherished, I have used that 7 times, and I like to use Cherished as an under eye setting powder, so when I use this palette, I use that as my under eye setting powder. Blissful has been used 3 times, and Happiness also 3 times. Mantra, 3 times. Serenity, 1 time. Abundance, my favorite shade in the palette, 4 times. And Moon Magic, we're going to call that 8 times. Radiate, 2 times. and Self-Love 1 time. All in all, Rose Quartz is looking very well loved, and I am loving that because it's such a great palette. I love it. I find it so approachable, and while I like and prefer to wear warm tones on my eyes, that is cool tones that I like and I feel good in wearing. Okay, next for another one that's almost finished, no pan left behind. Just some of these darker shades are really hard in ABH Cosmos. They're hard for me to use. And as you will see, a Super Cluster is the shade that I have been that I experimented yesterday to use up as a shadow, gosh, as a nail polish, because it is just barely in there, but it's such a pretty shade and I don't want to just scrape it out. I really would like to use it. So I know by the end of the year we're going to have that all the way used up. It's going to be a clean pan. We've used it 3 times, but probably more than that. Sun, my favorite shade in here, is 2 times. Orion was 7 times. Mercury 4 times. Quasar 6 times. Galaxy 0. Space Dust and Comet are 2 times. Eclipse 1. Supernova 2. Mars is 0. And Dark Matter is 1. Going along with ABH, Rose Metals is very much a fall palette. I don't know how I can get away from that mindset, but it's a fall palette. Well, this green kind of goes nicely with the things in here because I did kind of like touch up my look that I had yesterday with this. So, you know, that's one way to use it. But I have not personally used this at all this year. My daughter used this to create some kind of like, she was going to do some kind of a medieval mask on her eye. So she used several shades in here. So I marked those down because she used a lot of them. All right. So Rose Quartz was 1. Royal is 0. Haze and Rose Fire are 1. Sunrose is 0. Nova is 6. I mean 1. Why did I say 6? 1. Because it's shade number 6. That's why. Okay. Heavenly 1. Element and Ashes are 0. Dune is 1. And these 2 are 0. Nocturne and Noble 0. So I will try to get that used up during the normal months. I can't guarantee it. Now, I don't have graphics for these 3, honestly, because I forgot about them. I have hit No Pan Left Behind on my CoverGirl Clean Color Dreamy Pink palette. I have used this shade twice, this one 3 times, and these 2 1 time. Really easy to complete that No Pan Left Behind, and such a great everyday palette. I don't have much in the way of drugstore makeup or like eyeshadows, but this one is really good. This formula is really good. And if I were in the market for more eyeshadows, I would definitely like to try more color stories of this because I do enjoy it a lot. I have also No Pan Left Behind my mini Natasha Denona Starlit palette, and I've used all of the shades 1 time to create the look that I did. This one was completed in January, and this one was completed in February. Now, Mini Rose, I have not, No Pan Left Behind, but I did use this shade twice this year, and the rest of it, none this year, which is such a shame. Why? Oh, my goodness. What a shame. Okay, now for I Need a Nude. I Need a Nude. I have completed that No Pan Left Behind in January. This was my 1 week 1 palette. Again, that video will be linked below for you, and I'll have some pictures up on the screen to give you some inspiration. I did this one palette bingo style, which was so much fun. It's just so cool to like randomly generate some shades and put them together. and figure out how to make them look good together. My most challenging combo was Wit and Filigree, I think. Yeah, they were very challenging to go together. When I did this 1 week 1 palette, what I did was I generated a number 1 through 5. And that was how many shades that I was going to use. And then I generated, 3 numbers or 2 numbers. And then that dictated which shades I used. So there was a couple times where I got 1. And so I had to do a 1 shadow look. And that was really, really challenging. I just like that approach. It really gets you out of your rut. So if you're somebody that is on a no buy or a low buy, you're trying not to buy eyeshadow palettes or something, and you're just kind of stuck in your same routine, try throwing in a palette bingo every now and then, because it will definitely help you to be creative. All right, let's talk about it. Snow Pan Left Behind. I've used every shade at least 1 time, but most of them way more than that. Let's start with this one, which is Stone. That has 3 uses. Whisper and Ella have 1 use. Vague has 2, and Travertine has 1. Down here, Delilah has 1. Silhouette, 2. Muse, 1. Fair, 3. And Filigree, 2. Starting here at Wit, I have 3 uses, 2 on Sheen, 3 on Tender. Guess which shade I got the most during my 1 week 1 palette? Wit Mesh, sorry. 6 uses on this guy, and 3 on Mia. It was a fun palette, and even though it looks really boring, I created some really sweet, soft, everyday, approachable looks that I was quite proud of. Now, this one for Natasha Denona Yucca was in my collab with Andy over at Makeup in the Mundane. We used these 2 green palettes. Andy is the queen of green. That's what I like to say. And it was just a lot of fun. I got some really cool, really cool colors from Andy. And man, the look that I did was just, I think, very Andy-esque. Okay, so through that collab with Andy, I was able to create, I was able to get a lot of uses out of several of these shades. Plantasia is one of my favorites, and I do use a glitter glue with most of the I do use a glitter glue with most of the glitters in here, and this one is no exception. I have used this one 5 times this year. Calethea 0, Komori 1, Acacia 0, Camu Camu 4 times. Look at that. Look at me go. Tipu 4, Elysian 2, Valley 1, Citrine 0, Ray 0. Flax and Fuchsia are 0, and so is Makia. Ixia 1, and Willow 3. I am really looking forward to using this one more in the fall, in the fall time, and I think this one's going to be my 1 week 1 palette in July. I got this palette in July, so when I think of July, I think of this palette. So that is going to be my 1 week 1 palette for that time. Now we go to my beautiful, lovely gift of the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership. I can't read that. It's the Divine Rose, I think. Oh, here. It's on here, the box. Mothership 7 Divine Rose palette that was gifted to me by DW. Still, I can't. Every time I think about that, I just can't. Now, this palette, I love the color story of this palette. And seriously, these shimmers in here are like absolutely stunning. I just wish that there was like 1 or 2 more lighter colors. And maybe like 1 more matte. Like a lighter matte and like 1 more matte. It's very shimmer heavy, but it's still beautiful and I still love it. And I have used some of the shades at least once. Again, this is one where I pull this out only for special occasions, and I should not do that. I should use it and enjoy it. So this one I haven't used this year. These two I've used once, and then 0 and 0. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 0 for 7, 1 for 8, 0 for 9, and 1 for 10. 10 is the one where I'm like, I don't know how this is possible. See, it's not showing up. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's not 10. It's 5. 5. Completely white, right? Like white, but pink. I don't understand how that's possible, but it is, and it's in there, and she's beautiful. So this palette is just gonna get a lot of love. It's very much loved already. All right, now we're gonna talk about my Revolution, the True Icon palette. I think this is supposed to be a dupe for the maybe one of the Patrick Ta palettes. It has a similar color story, and that's probably why I liked it a lot. I have not completed this one yet. I still have some shades to use, but I did get a pan in number 5 in January. I don't know how we did that. I think my daughter may have used a brush on it. I don't know. Who knows? So let's go over this one. This shade is 0 times yet. 1 time for number 2. 3 and 4 are 0. 5 and 6 are 1. 7 is 1. 8 is 0. And then the rest of them I have used 1 time. So I've probably used this palette twice this year. I love it. Yeah, it's gonna get its use. It'll have its day where I get more of it. Here is Mist Haven. Mist Haven was one of the palettes that I used with, oh, okay. Now it's coming back to me, I think. Mist Haven and Rose Quartz are what I used with Still Steph in our Dynamic Duos collab. And then the other Dynamic Duos collab that I did was with Alyssa. And what did we use? Man. We used Yucca and something else. So yeah, you'll have to go check all those out. Because, ooh, Alyssa is also very colorful. Man, when she gave me hers, I got a pink and green kind of color. Oh, it was Rose Quartz. I don't know. You guys, I don't remember. Honestly, I think we did Yucca and Rose Quartz, and that was very interesting. I tried to really challenge myself with that look. I did, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. So Mist Haven was one that I used with Still Steph. She didn't have Mist Haven, but she had something similar, so we used similar. It was just a similar color story. So I have no pan left behind this, but I'm very, very close. And I'm hoping that, within the next couple of months, I can get that. I'm kind of halfway considering decluttering this because it's not so much the color story. I'm just not sure that I like the formula. I love Huda's formula so much. And to know that this is supposed to be a dupe for a Huda formula, and I just don't know that the shimmers are Huda quality. I feel like I would like working with the Huda version of this more than I do this version of this. So I don't know. I haven't fully committed to that yet. I have decluttered one palette, and it is my Laura Geller palette, the 31 shade one. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. Every single time that I have used that palette on my eyes, I have absolutely hated my eyeshadow look. I have tried it wet. I have tried it dry. I've tried it, and I don't like it, and I hate it. So it's gone. I mean, it's not gone. It's right there, but it's going away. I don't have time for ugly eyeshadows. All right, now back to this. Here we go. Plum, 2 uses. Pale, 1. Velvet and Twinkle and Moon and Thistle, all 1. Now we're going to go to, oh, this is Thistle. This Thistle and Ember are 1. Petal, I've used twice. Cluster? Yeah, Cluster. 1. And, 0. And Secrets, 0. Shadow, a 1 time. Murk and Nutmeg and Fawn are all 1 use. Dream is 2 uses. Mist is 1. And Void, 0. Hopefully I'll be able to knock out some of those darker tones and eyeshadows just, randomly here and there. Now we're almost done. I have my Alter Ego Midsummer palette, and this is going to be great for spring. I still need to work on this one. Camp, I have 1 use. Meadow and Glare, 0 uses. Tuscan and Solstice, 1 use. And Twilight, 0. Dew and Pollen, 0. Festival and Vanilla, 1. And these 2 are 0 this year. So I know that this is probably going to be 1 week, 1 palette in April, I think I kind of decided. So that one will definitely get used in that way. Now, last palette that I have to update you on is one of my new ones. I have already no pan left behind this one. Also, in thanks to my daughter, and she really likes to dig around in this, and I ask her to be careful, but she's already showing lots and lots of love because it has some of her favorite colors in it, and she likes to use dense brushes in it to get her shadow. So, it's getting a lot of use. I have used these a lot. Okay, now it's coming back to me. This one was with DW. This one and something else. You guys are probably, if you're watching this far, you're probably like, she has no idea what she's talking about. But you guys, I was sick like twice in February, so my memory's terrible right now. But yes, this one was with DW. I'm very confident about that. Okay, so let's count the uses. Sweet on You has 5 uses. Sparkling Cider, 1. Core Values, 6. This was one of my shades that she gave me. Happily in Love, 4. My daughter likes that one. Pick Me, 6. Applesauce, 2. Smitten, 4. Sweetie Pie, 3. Bite Me, 1. Caramel Apple, 2. And Apple of My Eye, 2. Candy Apple, 2. Oh, I'm way off. What? I'm way off. Oh, no, I'm reading. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, Candy Apple, 2. Okay, Crunch Time is 4 uses. Turnover, 2. So Snackable, 6. That was another shade she gave me in that collab. Slice Baby was 1. Orchard, Stroll, and Baskets Full, all 1. Okay. For singles, I have used all of my singles at least once. These are 3 sticks from Laura Mercier. Strike a Rose, I've used that twice. Gilded was 4 times, and Burnished Bronze is 2 times. And then I have a Merit single shadow in the shade Studio, and I've used that 8 times. One way that I've been trying to use that up from on occasion is to use it. I've read that you can use a bronzer like under your eyes to counteract blueness, and so that was one of the ways that I got a lot of those uses. Okay, guys, that is it. That was a very long video, and I'm hoping that next time it won't be quite that long, but since it's my first update for 2 months, I think that I had a lot of information to share, and I really hope that you found it inspiring. I hope that you found some of the pictures that I popped up on the screen inspiring, and all in all, my goal on this channel is to encourage you to use your makeup collection and just be conscious of what you buy, be more aware of what you buy, and to just not impulse buy all the time, because you probably got a lot of really great things that you can use in unique ways, and that can help save you some money in the end. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.